What's up, everyone? Jazzbro Gonzo here in another episode of What's Next. A couple days ago, I did a feature 3 stories. As I'm going to do in the rotation, I said maybe once a week I'll do a 3-story. You might have missed, you might not have. You might have. Sorry about that. But I'm going to do another one this morning. But I'm going to try to lighten it up a bit at the end. I won't put these under a certain category, but this first one I put under the world of stupid and dangerous at the same time. And then it just goes downhill and then on a nice little upswing at the end to top it off. Let's take a look. Now, story number 1 comes out of the Blaze. New York City Department of Education features drag queen for show aimed at 3 to 8-year-olds, aired on PBS. Yes, Public Broadcasting System, the network that you pay for with your taxes. And look at that. Oof. Yikes. This is what's being presented in front of your kids, parents. The New York City Department of Education featured a drag queen known as Little Miss Hot Mess in a show aimed at 3 to 8-year-olds, aired on PBS, wherein the performer and the author declared, quote, "I think we might have some drag queens in training on our hands." The Daily Caller first reported on the episode of a series called Let's Learn, which is a partnership between PBS member station WNET-TV and the New York City Department of Education. It aims to help 3 to 8-year-olds at home with, quote, learning, with programs featuring instruction by educators and virtual field trips. Quote, "I'm a drag queen and a children's book author. Little Miss Hot Mess begins, and you may be wondering to yourself, what on earth is a drag queen?" No, I've got some other words, but I'll leave them at the end. The host then describes drag queen in part as a everyday people who like to play pretend and dress up as often as we can. Going on to say drag queens are also leaders in our community. And if you ask me, we make pretty good role models. After the lengthy description, Little Miss Hot Mess declares, "Today I'm going to read from my own book, which is the hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish," performing to the tune of The Wheels on the Bus. The author then explains, "I wrote this book because I wanted everyone to get to experience the magic of drag and get a little practice shaking their hips and shimming their shoulders to know how we can feel fabulous inside of our own bodies." At one point, Little Miss Hot Mess tells her audience, "I think we might have some drag queens, quote, in training in our hands." Let's take a look.
Hi, everybody. My name is Little Miss Hot.
My God. Oh my goodness. Oh God, the world we live in. All the end times, folks. Oh, we're living in the end times.
Hot Mess, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. I am a drag queen and a children's book author, and you may be wondering to yourself, what on earth is a drag queen?
That's good enough for me. When asked for a comment on the show, a PBS spokesman emphasized repeatedly that Let's Learn is not a PBS series, but was made available to PBS stations. Yeah. I didn't rob the bank. I was just sitting in the car waiting for somebody to come out. Last year, One Missouri lawmaker who introduced a bill to stop the Drag Queen Story Hour events in his state reportedly received death threats for proposing the legislation. That's right, the woke mob came after him. It's an issue of protecting our kids from what I believe is a concentrated effort to push the alphabet agenda onto our children. Representative Ben Baker told the Daily Caller in a separate report at the time. Even worse than that, subjecting them to unwanted advances by people that I believe are nefarious, that have nefarious intentions for children, and that's my concern. The fact of the matter is that Drag Queen Story Hour is a danger to children. You're looking at 3 to 8 year olds who are very vulnerable, who are still learning the world around them. But yet, if you bring a Bible into school, their hair is on fire. If you talk to them about pro-life, their hair is on fire. If you talk to them about, I don't know, Jesus saves, their hair is on fire and they want to burn the school and the city down to the ground. But yet, let some joker who's literally dressed like Joker get in front of your kids, as we saw in 2019 when they were going from different states in school libraries, taxes that you pay for, sit in front of children as young as 3 to spout off this nonsense. I don't blame the kids so much. I blame the parents who allowed their children to sit in front of this garbage that is being spewed at them by clowns. Literally, people dressed up as clowns and think this is a good thing. Trash. But I digress. Story number 2. California radicals say math is racist, sets out to cancel it in public schools. The teaching of our mathematics is part of a white supreme culture and must be purged of all racist influences, say the California School Board. What kind of racist influences? Racist? To begin with, there is no right or wrong answer in math. The answer is equally valid. Princeton professor Shigeru Kleinerman? Yeah, I butchered it. At this point, so what? A refugee from Romania likens the woke culture to a, quote, soft kind of Marxism that enforces its ideology by not jailing its dissenters or physically eliminating them, but by social shaming, mob punishment, guilt by association, coerced speech. The professor of mathematics is very angry. Quote, the idea that focusing on getting the right answer is now considered among some self-described progressives a form of bias or racism is offensive and extraordinarily dangerous. The entire study of mathematics is based clearly on formulative definitions and statements of fact. If this were not so, bridges would collapse, planes would fall from the sky, and banks transitions would be impossible. Then again, you're trying to reason with woke clowns. Yes, but that's a small price to pay if we're going to get rid of racism everywhere, right? Oregon is also considering adopting this nonsense so California kids won't be the only ones who will be light years behind others by the time they graduate. Not even that, by the time they get into, middle school. The new curriculum will be based on a document titled Dismantling Racism in Mathematics, that the Wall Street Journal points out is chock full of little woke tidbits like that. Quote, the manual claims that the teachers addressing the students' mistakes forthrightly is a form of white supremes and sets forth indicators that white supreme pizza culture in the mathematics classroom, including a focus on getting the right answer, teaching math in a linear fashion, and grading them on a demonstrated knowledge of the subject matter. The concept of mathematics as being purely objective and unequivocally false, the manual explains. upholding the idea that there are always right and wrong answers, perpetuates objectivity. Apparently, that's also racist. The fact of the matter is that the professor is 100% correct that when you are basically saying everything is racist, mathematics is racist. Really? 2 plus 2 is 4. When did 2 plus 2 become 2 plus 2 equals 4 become effing racist? It didn't. These knuckleheads on the left, these knuckle draggers on the left, have got nothing better to do but to spew out the nonsensical garbage and trash that they continue to do so. So let's make everything racist. Sun's hot, it's racist. Water's wet, it's racist. I'm cold, that's racist. I like the sports team, you're racist. Mathematics is racist. No, you're an idiot. You're just a flat out moron and ignorant. And yet we allow people to perpetuate this trash in our schools, and of course, our most vulnerable, our kids, who are supposed to be the future of this nation. And sadly, if you're in California, if you're in Oregon, I'm to be surprised that this trash is not being spewed off in New York, Maryland, Maine, Nevada, Washington State. Then you should weep for not only for your state, but weep for your nation. Wow. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. You want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe it, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.